I'm the Kentucky Cave Creeper, and I'm at the site of Fort Paint Lick, a fort that was built in the late 1700s. And this spring that I'm in right now is on the side of the fort. And there's not a whole lot known about this place, not a lot written about it, but I've heard from the locals that when the pioneers were trying to get some water and stuff, that when the Indians attacked, sometimes they would run down in here and hide. And it's like a walled up tunnel with very old masonry. It looks like they've carved all the rocks out. And I'll kind of go up the steps. They have some stair steps right here that they have made out of rock and laid. And this is the opening, and it's all kind of walled up here. Really neat looking. The locals say this is a spring, but it could have been a place where they stored something because it's cool down here underground and it may have filled in with a lot of dirt. I'm not bothering any artifacts or destroying or touching anything. I'm just filming. We'll leave this to the archaeologists to explore later. But it is real possible that they could have hid down here, because you cannot see this at all when you're on top up there until you get right up on it. And I don't know if it extends on down further and goes even further into the ground, but this is as far as I can go right now. But it's just walled up beautifully with the masonry they did here. This is virtually probably been untouched for many years because the wall's just full of moss. There's a little bit of garbage that's been thrown down in here. Somebody's obviously dumped some garbage in here at one time. It's not a whole lot. It could be cleaned out. It seems to be pretty safe. I checked the walls real good before I came down here. They're really sturdy, really solid, really put together good. I don't think it's going to cave in on me. Didn't locate any snakes before I came in here. The only thing I've seen down in here is a large spider. But the legend has that Paint Lick, they used the blood of some of the people. The Indians killed people up here, used some of their blood to paint the trees, and that might be how it got its name, Paint Lick. Colonel William Miller built this fort, and this was supposedly part of what they built. This chamber underground, or well. There's a large rock I'm standing on. I don't know if that were lifted, if this would go on further down, but it's too big for me to even think about moving. The actual fort that was built up here stood real close to this. Was supposed to be just not too far at all away from where I am. The stockade would have been. And just on the other side of the stockade is a spring that's been walled up out of rock. And the legend has it that Chief Thunder and a party of Indians murdered one of the girls there in the fort when she went out to get water on the other side, and we'll explore that in a few minutes. There's a spider nest. There's my son. He's got a camera. He's doing some filming. Zachary Johnson. You like it up here, Zachary?
Yeah.
It's just great to be down in here. I first found out about this in 2004 or 5, and I really couldn't get to it until now. And I'm just glad it's still here. A lot of people in the town right here, some people don't even know about this. They don't even know it exists. This may be the first time it's ever been filmed. I'm just not sure. I've never seen it before on anything. There's very little known about Paint Lick, or written about Paint Lick, about the fort, stuff that I could find on the internet. I'm going to try to turn this camera around a little bit here and get me down in here. I'm going to kind of hunker down back in here. See we'll kind of look up at the top there. Go around a little bit. But right here may be where some terrified people once hunkered down like me in the late 1700s, while the Indians were lurking around trying to kill them up at the top up there. It would have been pretty terrifying. Let's go back around to this side and get a little bit more footage now. See those stair steps under your feet, Zachary?
Yep.
They've actually laid rock stair steps and actually built a wall where you can come down into this chamber. These are all like hand done. See these rock? They carve these out. They would go pick them up in the creeks and stuff. They have fossils all over them. You can see the fossils on some of them. And I've seen a lot of architecture like this where they've picked up rocks with fossils in them, limestone and stuff, whatever. And they have carved these out, just made them into beautiful blocks and just laid them perfect. And I don't know if this one was on top and fell in at one time. Maybe this was even hidden. That was probably above my head and it fell in. Then if that were above my head, then the Indians would have had a real hard time seeing them down here. And there's this huge tree that's there that's kind of in this sinkhole area. Fell over. Goes way up. It's pretty old. I don't know if it would have, how long it's been here. It's cool down in here. Very cool. So whatever they had down in here, if it were some kind of shelter that held something, it would have stayed cool. Now, Zachary, can you film me real quick if I hand you this camera? I'm going to leave it on. Okay. Hey, Jordan, what's up, buddy?
This is my dad filming.
Those are my identical twin boys.
This is the Kentucky Cave Creeper.
What do you think about this? It's a piece of history, isn't it? We've got to preserve this stuff. We're not going to take anything out of here. We're not going to damage anything.
How do you save it?
We're going to save it for archaeologists to come look at later. It's good you're standing there because I get a good example of somebody walking in. Just look at it, turn it around, get a good picture of me hunkered down in here. Just keep it on, don't turn it off. You're fine. We'll just put it on the video like this, okay? You got a photo of me? You see me good down here? You get all the walled area and everything? Be careful, don't fall. Those rocks should be pretty stable. Just be careful what you grab a hold of, okay? Just hope that one on my head don't fall, or it might be the end of the cave creeper. All right. Got a good photo? Good film?
Mm-hmm.
All right, hand me that camera back, and I'm coming out of here now. All right. Turn it around. I'm going to walk out of here. Try to get it coming out. The hidden chamber beneath Paint Lick. Here's an interesting board right here. Looks really old. Has a slot in it. Doesn't exactly look like a piece of the tree to me. Looks like a board. May have been something they carved in the fort. And actually, it's because down here it's wet, damp a little bit. It could have been kind of dry and damp. In certain places it might have preserved it. That's real interesting right there. Has like a slot where they might have slid something into it. It may be part of an old fence from the 1700s or something that still survived. Looks like really old wood. I've studied a lot of pioneer history around here and been to many sites, studied ancient boards, cabins, and a lot of things, and I have some pretty good knowledge on some of this stuff. But I'm not an expert in it by no means, but I have a lot of knowledge on it. And I'm going to try to get out of this hole now. There. And that's what it looked like going in. The owner gave me permission to come up here today. Or I wouldn't be here.
So there's a natural spring here, obviously. At one time. And then they dig it out a little bit and then lay the wall.
Can I put y'all on film?
Well, I'd say what they've done is they found the spring. There was probably some water coming up, and they wanted to dig deeper.
To have
And
more
so
water
they built the wall to keep the dirt from falling in.
into. Yeah, there you go.
And now, and plus
So it's like
the
digging a well.
circumstances to stay hidden, so people, just drive by aren't just
Right,
stopping for their water.
right.
This is my friend Jimmy Steeburl and his girlfriend, and she's an actress. She does all kinds of... What is it you do? Can you tell me a little bit about what you do?
Well, I used to work for a theater company in Rhode Island, and we did historical reenactments on the daily life of the people who lived in Newport, Rhode Island. That was the most recent professional gig I had. So.
Yeah, that's pretty fascinating. When I found out you were an actress, and I heard you had a whole wardrobe of clothes that you
Yeah.
use. Even somebody from this, like from the 1700s, you had some
Yeah.
outfits that girls would have wore.
Oh yeah, definitely. 1800s too.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. We're glad to have you here today.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here. It's a great day to be out.
Yeah, beautiful day.
Finding some history.
Yeah, there's a lot of history people don't get to see up here. They don't know about it. And my twin boys, Zachary and Jordan. And well, right over here is where the site where the fort supposedly may have set where that barn is where the stockade could have been, I was told. And in a minute we'll go and we'll explore the spring where the girl was murdered.